Hello everyone and welcome back. After waiting a couple of weeks for its release, I have finally gotten my hands on the newly released RX 560. I'll be taking a look at the Sapphire Pulse RX 560 4GB version today. So, let's take a look at what this entry-level card is actually capable of. Like the previously released RX 500 series GPUs, the RX 560 is a refreshed and overclocked version of its 400 series counterpart, the RX 460. With an MSRP of $100 for the 2GB version and around $115 for the 4GB edition, this GPU is definitely in the low budget range. I went with the 4GB edition as it only costs $10 more and it was available earlier. A few notable features of the card are its support of DX12 and FreeSync 2. Also, due to the 90-watt TDP, it does require one 6-pin power connector. With those details out of the way, let's take a look at how it performs when paired with the continually reigning budget CPU champ, the Pentium G4560. Starting off, as always, with Counter-Strike Global Offensive, we see respectable performance with an average of 131 FPS and a minimum drop of 63 FPS. Solid performance, even for a competitive player. Moving on to another popular esports title, Overwatch also shows smooth gameplay, even on the Ultra preset, averaging at a healthy 72 FPS and very rarely ever dropping below 60. Stepping up to the more intensive titles, Grand Theft Auto 5 is the first on the list. Letting the game automatically preset the graphics gave a mix of normal to high settings, with a few tweaks to certain details like turning off VSync and lowering post-processing allowed for fairly smooth gameplay, averaging around 70 FPS with drops to 45 to 55 range. Lowering a few more settings could offer up smoother performance if you're interested. Swapping over to The Witcher 3 definitely started showing the limitations of the RX 560. Even with all the settings on low, the GPU struggled to even reach 60 FPS, averaging at 57 and fluctuating in the low 50s. Lastly, I took Battlefield 1 for a spin. Playing a few bits of the campaign gave very smooth gameplay despite being on the high preset, averaging in the low 70s with the occasional drop to just under 60 FPS. I did play some multiplayer, however I didn't collect any benchmarking data. As usual, the performance dropped significantly during the intensive multiplayer battles, so dropping the settings to low was a requirement to reach a decent FPS. Playing on the low preset was playable, albeit a little bit choppy in the crazier firefights. I'd expect 45 to 65 FPS on average. Taking a look back on these results definitely show where this card is aiming. If you're a fairly casual gamer who typically enjoys competitive esports games and will occasionally fire up a AAA title like Battlefield 1, the RX 560 will manage that without breaking your wallet. If you're interested in being able to play with higher resolution textures and avoiding memory limits, you can splurge on the 4GB edition for a few more bucks. If you're more interested in competitive titles and the best bang for your buck, the 2GB edition will be a few dollars less and may suit you better. Well, I think that's all I have on the RX 560 for today. Make sure to like the video and comment your thoughts. Feel free to ask any questions you have and I'll do my best to answer them. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Next week I'll be taking a look at the GT 1030 and NVIDIA's answer to the RX 550. Until next week, thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.